the longest time because they came with the set that me and my husband got when we first got married, and it was just a cheap set, you know, it was just plates and, you know, all the things, bowls, and these were the only two I kept. The next thing I want to deal with is finding a home for my new 2 pans that I got for Christmas. Oh my gosh! Gross! It wasn't actually that long ago that I emptied these 2 shelves out and cleaned them out, so I'm not worried about these shelves being dirty. I actually already did the spice pull-out drawers, whatever, before I decided to start this YouTube channel. So, I think I have pictures of that still, because like I said, I used to always take before and after pictures. So I might still have those on my phone. I'll look and see, but all of this stuff is commonly used and all fresh stuff. Newly cleaned shelves. So I probably won't even wipe these down unless that's just a crumb. One of the things I want to work on today, which I'm kind of intimidated to do because I haven't dragged out a lot of stuff all at once in a while, because I know myself well enough to know that makes a mess for months. But what I really want to do is do all of the items that I cook with. Pots, pans, measuring cups, casserole dishes. You can organize your kitchen either by, you know, organizing it to make it easier to clean up, or organizing it to be easier to fix meals. And I want to reorganize my kitchen to where it's easy to cook, and the second priority being it's easy to clean up. So that's why I want to bring all this down. I want the stuff that I use on an every time basis. Every time I cook, whether it be 3 times a day or once a day or once a week or whatever, I want the stuff that I use the very most often to be the easiest to reach, and the stuff that I'm, you know, use the next most often to be the next easiest to reach, etc. That's kind of what I'm working on today, and my first thing will be to drag out all of the cooking stuff, which makes me tremendously nervous because when I drag out stuff to organize it, I tend to drag stuff out, and then the visual amount of clutter overwhelms me so tremendously that then I'm likely to procrastinate and put it off until whenever, until I finally get sick of it again. And usually it takes weeks, if not months, to do. So I am a little bit nervous, but here we go. Okay, with the help of my boys, We got all of the pots and pans and measuring cups and anything I use to cook with out of the cabinets and drawers. It's not everything that's in my cabinets and drawers, but all of the stuff that I use to cook with. Pots, pans, cooking utensils, skillets, all of that stuff. So the first thing I want to do is put these in some form of order where the stuff I prioritize, well, I need to rearrange these where everything that I use on a very frequent basis is in one place. So let me do that right quick. So I'm gonna put the cookware that I use the least underneath this table on the floor. I'm gonna put the stuff that I use practically daily on top of this table, and then kind of everything in between on the countertops. So I need to rearrange these so I can actually see. Obviously, never use. They're cute, but look how dusty and grimy they are. Ew! Okay. I don't even really have to look at these to know that I don't want them. They are cast iron, so somebody would want these. Definitely gonna get rid of these. I don't need to wait until I've got it all organized to know that. So let me get a box for that kind of stuff though. Another thing I can let go of. This I never use, but I really love it, so I'm not going to get rid of it.
What did happen to the last 10?
barbecue things. Okay. Really great knife, but I rarely use it. Most used cooking things. Pans, pots, frying pans, just utensils, salt and pepper and stuff. These down here are my least used things, if ever. There's a few things that I never use. There's some of it that's more for camping or for seasonal, like boiling crawfish or frying a turkey, or camping, or just rarely used items. And then these are kind of my mid-level uses. I use these often enough to not even consider whether I get rid of them or not, but they don't need prime real estate in my kitchen. I want to bring this silverware down off the countertop because I don't like a lot on my countertops and it looks really messy even though we use it all the time. So I'm going to put these all down here, and I bought an organizer to stick in here. My new silverware organizer. This old cookie jar. Still have the lid to it, but I never use it, so I use this for utensils. And I put a couple of clean rags that I don't use very often down here because I don't think that I think this is too deep for these utensils to, excuse me, I think it's too deep if I just put them in without anything. So a couple of rags that I can wash occasionally might be nice. Okay, there we go. There's that. My cutting board. My knives. That looks odd. Why does that look odd? Actually duplicates because I just got this new set for Christmas. So now these two I only use when I'm making yogurt, so I'm going to keep these even if they are duplicates. I don't need that. I don't need this either. These two kind of replace this one. Get rid of these. This one replaces this one, so I can get rid of that. this looks like it's missing something, so I'm going to move that right there. Let's see if this fits, because my granddaddy made this. And then I could put my olive oil, salt, pepper, the ones that I use the very most often while cooking to fill this space. Okay, so these are prime real estate cooking things. So I need all of those to go somewhere right beside the stove in easy reach. So maybe I should stack like items together and then get the things that belong on top of the stove just out of the way. My skillet and my Dutch oven both just belong on top of my oven. I've kept them there for years. I like them there. So I'm going to put that back. Put these cheapies that I still use somewhere in that organizer because I don't really want those in the spoon thing unless I have to. Yeah, and then I'll just stack the ones together that would fit inside of each other. Okay. Cheese grater. I use all the time. Sometimes all the time. This one could probably go there and that. Pretty often. Kind of rarely. All the time. I know this looks like a weird thing, but I cut onions and meat and stuff like this. You know, poke it in there. That works really well. All the time. Pretty often. All the time. That's not too bad. Okay. I can deal with that. I actually think I'm going to put these right beside the sink in the drawer because it would make sense by the kitchen sink for colander. These are my only things left for, I use them all the time. And so I'm going to start putting things over here that I use frequently, but like not like weekly, just maybe once a month. I'd say my crock pots, little Jim. This is the seasoning I'm carrying around. I just put it up. in my mixing bowl, these two casserole dishes with lids are probably the next most used items. Let me see if I can find a place for these first and then spots for those. Yeah, that's not gonna work. My most used pans are pot pans. Even though I use these all the time, you have to get the new ones because they're like a little worn out. Use them on a probably weekly basis. Awesome. They'll fit perfectly. Okay, so got my big boy to help me reach that, and I put a few things that were more rare to use. This pot on this side, I only use to boil like whole chicken or something, like when I'm making homemade chicken broth. I've got another deep pot that I use regularly, but it's smaller, so I really only use this one pretty rarely. And then that cake pan maybe once a year, just not very often, but he can reach it easily. So it's not a big deal to have it up there, even if I did use it more often. But these things I use more than, you know, more than anything else is like right here, at least once every 2 weeks, at least. And like these I use every day. I'm gonna put the oils back here. I need that fit easily. My pot holders, my casserole dishes. Ooh, okay, out of focus. And then these measuring glasses. I put my prettier cooking utensils right here. And then my daily use olive oil, salt and pepper for cooking. My knives and cutting board. And then this one has my most frequently used, you know, the ones that don't look as pretty as out here. The black ones, the metal ones and stuff, and then my silverware. I love this organizer. And then let's see, this one has my my boiling pots, both sizes, my nonstick frying pans, and an extra lid. I think that lid goes to this pot up here. I might put it with it. And then my cheese grater. Then down here, I have, I would call this my spaghetti or boiling pot. I use very frequently. That one I use all the time. And these I use all the time. Yeah, that's my most frequently used pots and pans right there. And then if I come over here, we got this down because I don't know where to put that, but I do use that. I also use my wok, just not very frequently, and my lost my train of thought. Crock pot. Up here I had my son move these shelves so that all of my serving dishes fit up there. I know that's not cookware, but that's the only other thing in these cabinets. That way I took out one of these shelves to put over here, and that way some of those really big pots can go there. And I think I'm gonna put my crock pot right here and mixing bowls if they'll fit. Okay. I think my crock pot will fit here, and I think my mixing bowls might fit there. And then on this side, we're gonna put this thingy, this weird thingy. I think it's either for crawfish or frying turkeys. I don't know which. I have this big old stock pot. It needs to be washed, but I'm not gonna do that right now. Okay. I think I'm going to put my wok up there. I used to use this all the time, and now I just use it occasionally, but I do still use it. I think I could put that up there, so I don't need to reach it very often. So that I'm keeping. This I need to find a better spot for. Because I use this, I want it down where I can reach it in the morning or late at night. But now I need to go through all this other stuff to see what I'm keeping and what needs to go. All right, I moved the rest of what's left over here. More often used stuff on the top. And the stuff down here is rarely used items, some of which I really want to keep. But I think I'll make better decisions about this tomorrow because I'm really tired and wiped out tonight. Okay, items I actually use. Oh, let's see. This, but I just got a nonstick that will do just as well as this. So I'm going to ask my daughter and get rid of this one. This, but again, I just got a nonstick, so I'm getting rid of this one. I don't think she's going to want that. That's going to go, I think this one should go in the trash actually, because a non-stick pan that's scratched can be toxic. That's going in the trash. Okay. This we really only use if we're camping, like at a cabin or something. We don't have an RV, so mainly just a cabin. But I think I'm going to see if my father-in-law wants this because he does have an RV, and I bet his is getting pretty worn out. They use it all the time. So I'm going to see if he wants a replacement. I use a pie pan. I use this one. This one can go super dusty. These, my son requested that we might try these again because we used to make little miniature microwave cakes in these. So I'll keep these. Two lids, I don't think these go to anything. I think I was just keeping these for covering the skillet because the skillet doesn't come with a lid. But I don't need these. Like, I can use one of my other lids, so these go. Don't cook muffins, hardly ever. But if I did, I would use this. So I'm going to say this is my rarely used item, and I'm going to get rid of this one. It goes. These I'm debating two I'm not ready to get rid of these yet, and I'm not going to force myself to get rid of stuff that I might regret later. I've got some regret stories with decluttering. I'm going to keep this. These I have hung on to for the longest time because they came with the set that me and my husband got when we first got married, and it was just a cheap set, you know, it was just plates and, you know, all the things, bowls, and these were the only two I kept. I'm going to ask my daughter just to make sure, but we didn't use these very much when she was, you know, little, and so I really don't think she'll care. I don't care if they just go into donation, but I'm just going to check with her and make sure before I get rid of them, but I'm ready to let these go. Okay, this I'm not letting go of. This was way too expensive. I shouldn't have bought it. Honest to goodness, I've used it maybe 4 times. Maybe 4 times. I think before I start looking through all these, I'm going to get out all the rest of the cooking utensils and baking utensils to have them all in one place. To show y'all how I use these. This one's labeled belongs elsewhere. This one's keep. This one's labeled donate and trash. So as I go through each item, I'm just going to stick them in one of these bins. Where did this go to? It might be my steamer. I'm never going to use this. I'm never going to use this. So I'm going to donate this. Alright, egg thing. We use this a lot. Yeah. I use this all the time. I don't even know why this is over here. This needs to be in that drawer. Keep. Keep. Trash. Keep. Donate. This might be my kids. I have a drawer full of cooking stuff just for my kids for when I'm teaching them how to cook or whatever. They have like their own sets of knives, cutting boards, cooking utensils, but I can't remember if these were part of them or not, but I'm assuming because they're so bright they might be. So I know that one's not one of them. That one is broken, so that's trash. I don't think these, I need to check that. Oh, this is more for decoration than anything, but these little measuring spoons are so cute. They say a tad, a dash, a pinch, let's see, a smidgen and a drop. Isn't that cute? I think that's so cute. That's the keep. Like a, I don't know if you can see it. It's like a cookie cutter that's in the shape of pie. Okay, so I'm gonna throw the trash away. That's how much trash I had in there. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay. Donate. I'm just going to stick this cold tub down there and ask my daughter about if there's anything in there she wants. This is all keep stuff. This is stuff I need to find what in the world it goes to. I'm wondering if this goes to the KitchenAid, but I don't actually know. I'm gonna ask my husband and my daughter about these and see if they know what they go to. So these I rarely use. This I use more often. Rarely, often. Okay, now I'm going to take these items over there and see what can conveniently fit in my most used stuff. And I'm going to just throw all this back in that drawer. This drawer is my kids. I do little cooking lessons with them sometimes, and they have their own cooking set, so their own set of cutting boards, their own set of little knives that go in this safety thing, their own set of serving spoons and tongs and all that sort of stuff. Goes to somebody I know that might use that. These all go to the thrift store, and I talked to my daughter today and she would like to keep these, so I'm going to put those aside for her. I'm going to put this all in the back of my truck so we can drop that off at the donation center. I have one of my big guys. Dinner's ready.